nice episode. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. I also thank you for my Instagram group. I'm kind of simulcasting today. So I'm doing Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and we're talking today about Married at First Sight. And if y'all been following this season, this is season 13 for those of you who are just joining and want to know what we're talking about and who we're talking about. We're talking season 13 of the Married at First Sight that comes on Lifetime. And we're going to talk about this past episode. Y'all, first of all, let me just say, I really can't stand Johnny, and that I don't really have anything nice to say about it. Definitely, if you guys want to say something, want to join in the conversation, let me know. If you want to be part of the live conversation, join us. You can actually message me, and I will send you a link through StreamYard. I won't be adding anybody through Instagram, but if you're on Instagram and you want to join the conversation, you can come on over to Heather's Passion Academy on YouTube. And same thing with you guys on Facebook. If you want to come on over to YouTube to watch the conversation and actually join, I'll drop the StreamYard link through the YouTube page. So let's get on into it, because guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to delay everything. And we're not going to talk about everything that happened in this episode, because honestly, let's just talk about the fact that these episodes are lasting way too long for me. Like 2 hours is a lot of life to devote to to these shows. And so I definitely can't talk about everything in one episode, and I'll come back and I'll, really come back and talk about some of those other things. But what I really want to get into is just kind of going over a few of the things. I'm going to skip a lot of stuff. I'm just going to talk about what stood out to me. And of course, for those of you, again, who are on StreamYard Instagram, you can't see this, but if you come on and join us at Heather's Passion Academy on Facebook and on YouTube, you'd be able to see the slideshow. I do have a slideshow because we got to talk about some things, y'all. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the fact that I don't even know how to put this, but there are some Mira and Gil people. They love this relationship. Now, here's the thing. I don't care for Gil, and I think everyone knows this. I do not care for Gil. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the things is I think Gil does a lot of talking, but does not back it up. He talks about a lot about what he needs in a relationship, but he doesn't really talk about what he's doing to contribute to a relationship. So, I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I just don't think, for what everybody's seeing, I just don't see it. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I'm going to see it. I don't know if I ever see it, but I don't care for their relationship. At first when I first started watching the first episode, I was like, ooh, Mira she kind of bougie. And then when I started realizing, okay, let me take my bougie, let me take that off of the table and actually say what it is. She's particular. She says she grew up, poor. And I don't know why we got to keep talking about this, but she just doesn't want to feel poor anymore. So a lot of things that she does, the things that she purchases, the things that she talks about, luxury items, are because she works hard for them. She grew up poor. She didn't have access to them. And now she does, which I think that whenever you're able to do those things, whenever you're able to, get out here and earn your own money, make your own way, and have the things that you consider as luxury items, you should be able to do it. I think it bothers me when we see that women are doing these things, especially women of color, when they have these things without the aid or the assistance or approval of men. It becomes a big issue, a super huge issue. And I think that, at the end of the day, Gil is somewhat intimidated by the power that Mirla has, and her power is her money. She's able to earn whatever it is that she can earn, make whatever she wants to make. She saves money because, that was the first thing. He was making a dig at her like, you spend all this money, you don't have anything to save. But she showed him, she cracked his face wide open when she showed him her bank account. So now they're at the place where they're looking for a place. He's, told her that he doesn't want to renew his lease because they're looking more into doing things together as a couple. And I think that's commendable because, like she says, she's committed to the process. So she wants to see this thing through. But when she says, I like newer apartments, I like nicer things. And, first thing, I don't need a concierge and everything. I think that, for me, it's off-putting to talk to someone who's always trying to figure out a way to, belittle or, not even belittle, but they just try to make you feel as though there's something wrong with desiring something different from what they would like. The other thing is that he's so hell bent on her turning into what he wants her to be that, anytime she says something, it's, you don't need that. It's so nitpicky for him to be, all this man that some of y'all really loving. Because like I said, I'm not a fan of Gil at all. I think he's very nitpicky. I think a lot of the things that he does is very much because it's a level of intimidation that this woman doesn't need him. I think there's a lot to do with, some of the other things. I'm trying to adjust my camera because I just saw my junk box. But so the things that I have a problem with when it comes to Gil, again, is just the fact that he doesn't necessarily, to me, he's just not my cup of tea. He may have a nice body or whatever the case may be, but he's definitely, I don't consider him to be a nice person. And that's, again, that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. But, he's more of an ass to me than anything. But what's, interesting about it is that Mila really does like him. And you can tell that she's really attracted to him. She really likes the idea of having this husband and everything. And, and that's the one thing that I will say. She's giving it a try and she's giving it her all. But I think a lot of times we, as the audience, are still along with him, nitpicking at the fact that she likes nice things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Again, they were talking about, all these things like, wanting the different types of apartments and everything. And I think that it would benefit him to know that she's in a nice place with it. If he's gone as a firefighter, he's gone a couple of days or a week, I think, something like that. But wouldn't you want your wife to be somewhere where it's a secure place for her to live? So when you're not home, you have peace of mind to know that your wife is in a safe place. She's taken care of and you don't have to worry. That's one less worry you have to have. But anyway, I really hope he sees the big picture behind all this because I'm really tired of him. I don't like the jabs, she's a little princess or whatever he calls her. I don't really like those jabs because at some point it gets old. And you can tell that she's okay with it. But at the same time, I feel like there's going to be a point where she's going to be like, can you stop doing that? Because it's not cute. So I don't know. Let's go on over to Jose and Rachel. I don't even have a graphic for them. Yes, I do. It's somewhere up in here. Thing about Jose and Rachel is they are road lizard crazy, both of them. I just realized this about the two of them is that they are a little crazy and they like that level of intense craziness. With them, this is a picture from later in the episode, but if you look at them, I kind of feel like this is going to be their dynamic. They're going to have these blow ups, this, closing of the doors, locking the doors out, and then these big overly makeup sessions and things like that. I don't necessarily know that this is a bad thing for them. She's starting to kind of stand into, herself. She doesn't really like cooking. I don't understand, because eggs don't take that long, but whatever. She's like, I want to microwave some things. The thing that I noticed about, and we all said about Jose is very controlling. He's another one. He needs things his way. Now, let me tell you the difference between his level of controlling and Gil's level of controlling. He does his very much out there. his controlling, you see it, let me brush your teeth, let me do this thing, let me take over your bank account. Gil will shame you into doing what you want him, what he wants you to do. So to me, those are two. Let me just be honest, y'all. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Let me just be honest. None of these husbands this season are worth their weight in anything. None of them. So as far as I'm concerned, they just went and grabbed people that were laying around on the street and told them, "Come on, let's make a season." Because I really don't think any of these people were ready to be married. But anyway, Jose and Rachel, they kind of talk about, how things have really turned around, since that whole blow up and everything. And like I said, they're kind of good. They found a stride. They're doing what they're doing. And I don't think very much is going to change about either one of them, how they approach things. I don't think that there's going to be, we're going to see peaks and valleys with them. Like I said, that little Jose though is something wrong, but he like it. If she like it, I love it. Hey Tamika, if you want to join me, let me know. I'll send you a link. And so it's just kind of weird. Now let's head on over here to, the not so flavored flavor of the week, which is Johnny and Bao. Let me tell you something. The problem with Johnny and Bao, well, no. The problem with Johnny, let's not even talk about Bao. The problem with Johnny is that Johnny needed a black mama growing up. That was the one thing. Needed a black mama growing up. Tamika, check your inbox. And one of the problems with Johnny is that he's never satisfied. He's one of those people that act like they're gonna be all right. They pretend to be satisfied with things, but what's really he's gonna find something to nitpick because he decided on an ideal. This is what it is, and this is what it's not. I do not like the way that Johnny has approached this relationship. The girl started giggling when she get around him because she really is into him, and he gonna say she's too childish. He has all these other issues with her. He pretty much called her a liar. He said, "You a whole lie." And I think that there's a problem because I don't think Johnny, first of all, he has, and I don't want people to get upset, but listen to what I'm saying. Johnny exudes more feminine, and not even feminine. I don't even want to say feminine energy because I love feminine energy. You can stand into, you can come into yourself with feminine energy. But definitely he is more of a he wants to be led. He wants someone else to do all of the heavy lifting when it comes to romantic relationships. Johnny wants to be romanced in the way that most men like to romance women. And his energy, he gets so upset because Bao is like, okay, I'm at a loss. I really don't know what else I'm supposed to be doing with you and for you, because if every time I do something, there's another criticism as to how I did it wrong, then there's no right. There'll never be any right as far as Johnny and Bao is concerned. The thing about it is, I was looking at this particular picture here where he's like, well, you think you gave 100%? She's like, yeah. He's like, well, what are you calling 100%? I would say I would give 150%. When I say Johnny just be talking, just to be hearing himself talk, I don't have time for it. I don't like it. Again, Johnny, one of those people, he's been a player for a long time in them streets. Johnny for the streets, like they say. And he's been doing this for a long time. I don't think Johnny wanted to be married in the way of, wanting to be in a long-term relationship. I think Johnny got bored dating. And so Married at First Sight was open. He wasn't busy. He ain't had nobody in his starting lineup for this week. So he just kind of went on and got married. And the thing about it, again, what I see for the most part, with most of the women this time, is that they are 100% committed to the process, not necessarily committed to being treated a certain way, but they are committed to this 8-week process to see if I start here at point A, maybe I can end up somewhere else at point B and C and all the other subsequent um, points. What I don't understand, what really is throwing me for a loop right now when it comes to um the men, is that they have a list, they have these checkpoints, and then you go down the checkpoints, and then if you start checking the boxes, they find a new checklist. And it's like, it's really frustrating because we're not getting, well, what the hell do you want? Because if you're saying, okay, I need you to affirm me by, I need more touches, I need more cuddles, she's touching and cuddle, and then he sticks his hands in his pocket and he walks away. Or he'll say, I want to cook more meal, I want to do things together. She said, okay, I'll commit to, doing some things together with you, I'll commit to waking up earlier. But do you hear and understand, this is a theme with all of the husbands, do you hear any of them talking about the things they are committed to do to make these relationships move forward? No. This is, about partnership. So if you are working with a partner, that means you got to give a little, I got to give a little. Okay, let's meet somewhere in the middle. Not these people got to totally transform. And see, where they really got me effed up this season is that a lot of these women are totally independent. They are totally who they are. They've walked into who they've been forever. And these men want them to change. These are not 20 something. These women are, I think the youngest is Michaela, so she's 30. We'll talk about Michaela later. Michaela got issues. But the rest of them are solidly who they are. And so the problem that I have is, I just met you. I'm telling you what I'm like as a person. You're telling me what you're like as a person. And then you tell me, well, I don't really like you. I don't really like you like that. I don't really like you. So I don't understand that part. I think for me, that's where I have an issue, that you're not seeing the changes in the men as much as you'll see them in the women. And this goes a lot of times with a lot of relationships. Women have to change a lot of themselves in relationships. You go in being an independent woman or semi-independent, but society expects you to make all the changes. You change your body because if you have kids, you change your body, you change your career again, because if you're talking about family, they expect a lot of times the women to make the changes. Some of us change our last names. I did not. Some of us make a lot of sacrifices and changes in order to make the relationships work. And more often than not, you see 2 or 3 things that happen within relationships with men. Like maybe they stop going out as much with their friends, or maybe they'll do 2 or 3 things. But for the most part, most of the change comes in on the women's part when you're talking about heterosexual relationships. There's not really that much of a coming together and making, adjustments for the betterment of the whole. Is more so like, when you gonna stop being the thing that I really liked about you and just gonna do what I told you to do. That's what it usually ends up happening in a lot of relationships. And I'm generalizing. I know it does. There are times that, we do see tremendous change in men, but for the most part, the expectation is for the women in these relationships to make the changes. So anyway, Johnny done lost his damn mind. He be mad. He be going off on these tirades. And then what really got me was that they were talking about going to a family function. So this is like a barbecue, something like that. So they're going there. Tamika's here. Let me go and change some things out. Let me switch some things real quick. So they were talking about going to the family function. Let me put this graphic up because I got to change out my camera. But they were talking about going to this family function. So this is what I found interesting. Come on, join us. Tamika.
Hey.
What's going on? Look, I got to change my camera angle so that I can change this thing out. But go ahead and just start talking, because I almost got a whole attitude right now.
I just came from the park with my kids, so excuse my appearance. But
All right.
this
That's all
this
we want.
Mommy, why'd you say yay? This whole conversation about Bow and Johnny just like got me. I was ready to like go through the phone, go through not go through the phone, but go through the screen on
Mm-hmm.
Johnny because you can see that he is hitting on so many insecurities with Bow.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
feel that they were in their insecurities that did not exist prior.
Right.
I think that he is finding things to dig at her with, and it's trying to take a toll. The one thing that I can say about Bao is that woman is strong
She is.
because a
Let me answer
lesser.
this while you're
I'm gonna
talking.
say
So Johnny is that's the Asian couple from Married at First Sight. Excuse me. Johnny and Bao. That's the Asian couple. Johnny is the Asian guy,
hmm
and Bao is his wife. So that was some of my Instagram people. But you know what? If y'all come on over to YouTube and Facebook and join us for the rest of this conversation, y'all can then see the graphics. Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead.
and it angers me that he is basically picking this very confident, very intelligent woman apart.
Hmm.
I can say that Bao owned up to a lot of things that she needed to deal with
Right,
on the onset. She let him know, okay, this is, these are my previous things that I've had to deal with. I've done what I needed to do. I'm cool now. This is why I wanted to be married because I did that work.
right.
And then he comes in, and I told y'all before, I hate calling a man a bitch because I
Yes.
feel like that is the biggest form of disrespect that you can ever pay to a man. However, in this case, I fail to think of a word that actually fits.
Well, and I'm glad that you're bringing this up because sometimes the terms that we use are not necessarily about the person per se and about the behavior. And I think that a lot of the things, um, when we're talking about, again, someone that's acting like Johnny, when we use words like bitch, we're not talking about women in particular. We're talking about a certain attitude.
Exactly.
And it's a gamut of an attitude, though, and that's the other thing that we have to be understanding of. There is a gamut of an attitude that we're dealing with where you're talking about, dude, you got a complaint for everything. You pick apart everything. She says she made gourmet meals. She didn't make gourmet meals. We made them together. Does it matter?
Exactly. The
Does
thing
it really
about it
matter?
is, she, the thing is, he's failing to give her consideration and
Mm-hmm.
appreciation
Mm-hmm.
towards the effort.
Right.
Because another woman would have been like, you know what, let me go on and chuck you these deuces before I cut you.
Absolutely. 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 Let me pause you for a minute. Let me go ahead. I'm going to let go of my Instagram family. I'm going to ask you guys to join me over on Facebook or on YouTube. On Facebook, go to Heather Blue. On YouTube, find me at Heather's Passion Academy. And we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to get into it. So if you guys want to join the conversation and actually be a part of the live conversation, join one of those pages on YouTube. I will drop the StreamYard link so that you can join us on camera. You do have to have your camera on before I even click anything. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and continue this conversation with us, this is the time to do it. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish talking. I just want to just send a shout out to
I'm
my
switching
IG family.
over
They
from my
did.
phone too. So
Oh,
if I
okay.
come in again, a girl, I'm like, let me get on real quick.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah, because
Sometimes you
I didn't know
need
you
that
was doing it
conversation.
today. So I was like, oh, she's on. Let me get on here because I was just nosing around on Facebook.
Yeah. Because the thing about it though, like, and sometimes I just do better on the weekends to talk about these things, because sometimes we need a little bit longer time, and we need to
Lord, yeah.
be less constructed when we talk about these things. But that was the thing, especially when it comes to Johnny. And to be honest, the Johnny and Bao thing is its own conversation by itself.
Yes. Yes.
You can't do, first of all, it's 2 hours worth of craziness, and then we're talking about actually having to break down what's going on within these family things. Here's what I found, and I don't know if you found this to be as odd as I did. Did I get a straw? I mean, can I get a straw, people in the back? um the setup that he tried to have, the setup that he had with the family. Look at that. John joined us. Thank you for joining us. I like how he tried his best to go to that family function without his wife to show them. And I want you, this is what got me.
It didn't work,
More
did
than
it?
anything, this is what got me. Is how everybody's face was. Everybody was just like, Johnny, you on that bullshit. You know,
Exactly.
it was just like,
Exactly.
I don't understand what the issue is, but I think everybody know that Johnny is nitpicky like that. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the comments. You probably won't be able to see that link, but on my YouTube page. But if you're interested in coming in this conversation, we welcome some conversation from me. And just know I have this trusted little button that will remove you from the stream if I don't like what you say. Um, the thing about it though, I was just like, Johnny, you mad at this girl for being happy? She can't giggle. You mad at her for being a, first of all, she work in research. She ain't got
So
time to fool
that
with
lets
you,
you
little
know she's
boy.
very analytical
Yes.
and she's very
She very
she's
much
a
wants to get
perfectionist.
things right, and she
She's a
very much wants
perfectionist.
to please. Yeah.
Absolutely. But my thing is never have I never ever never ever never ever never ever never ever heard a man
In the histories of
complain
Evers.
in all the histories of Neverland.
Right.
Heard a man complain because his wife want to have sex with him on a very regular basis. Um,
Then
who
come
does
on
that?
now. Come on. Join me, because I'm here with you. When she asked what kind of sex did he like, he said, I'm very vanilla.
I'm very vanilla. So
So
that
then
means
she's
you
like,
just wanna you wanna we missionary?
that's
We
it.
can't do
You got
nothing
two
else?
positions for you. We're gonna do the front and we're gonna flip it over, maybe do a little dog style, then that's it.
Uh,
But you say you want a freak. You contradictory all day long.
you don't need my you know what? I feel that the bottom line is he does not know what to do with Bao.
He
He's
does
never
not.
had a woman who is an actual woman.
Who
He has
challenged
dealt
him.
with girls.
Right. And that's the thing. I think the problem is she's very vocal. She knows what she wants. She articulates what she wants and what she's looking for. And then he'll go and say this gaslighting stuff that he does. He'll go, that's not at all true. She's lying. She's lying. And all this stuff. And then everybody's like, what's happening? And he does
Exactly.
it, like, if you remember the first week, their honeymoon, how he was like, I want to do whatever. I want to be a better guy. So I'm gonna go ask Jose of all people how to be. And she was very much like, yay, I'm excited. But then she went on and told him, she said, it seems like every time I make an advance towards you, you shut it down.
Right.
And for me, that was it right there. I'm like, are you attracted to her? Or are you not attracted to her? Which one is it?
And that's the thing because when he's with the other guys, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetically, she has the body type I like. She's
She
cute.
got that big old booty though. He keeps talking about
Exactly.
like,
So you say that you're attracted to her,
yeah.
and she's making these advances. She is a communicator. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have you just sitting here trying to figure out what's what. She's
Yeah.
very capable of telling you what she wants.
Right.
You don't know what you want because you don't know what to do with this woman.
Exactly. Exactly. And he has quite an extensive apparently he has an extensive listing of young people he done ran after. Now see, John says I saw one episode of Married at First Sight, and I saw where he says she capping and don't be cooking, but told them she be preparing gourmet meals. Now here's the thing.
Every
He
time you see her, she's cooking though.
she's cooking, they're eating. And then usually they're trying to do things together. The problem is he has a complaint on the tip of his tongue for everything that she does. It's like, oh well, you made a
Absolutely, John.
he said
Vanilla
vanilla
and
and one of the
fruit
free.
don't
They're
mix.
not equal. He don't know what he wants.
I don't even like vanilla ice cream.
We knew Bow was kind of doing the thing because even at the bachelorette party, Bow was getting down and dirty at the
Exactly.
bachelorette party. So
What?
we
She
knew
was
she
over there
had the
with Michaela.
ability
She
to
was
let
bringing it.
loose. Yeah, she
Exactly.
was. She was like, body shots. Let's do it. Let's what? Yes. What
Like
you
I could
want me
kick
to
it
do?
with
Bend
Bow. I
over?
think that if I met Bow, I could kick it with Bow. Because
Right.
remember
I think
when she was talking to her brother, I said Bow got some black in her because she was like, he's running the break. He needs a break. And she was like, I ain't need no fucking break. Like she was pissed. And remember, I told y'all,
right.
I said Bow got black friends.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you can tell because then that they did a cut where like they met their friends, and I saw she had a couple of black girl friends, and it's just a different thing for her. Johnny's so bent on trying to present something to his family that he's not, that he's missing the whole point of the
Absolutely.
exercise, and he's going to lose her. I don't know if they're gonna stay together or not.
I
The
hope
streets
not.
be talking, but I don't know. You said so. John says sexual compatibility is key. Sexual compatibility, let me tell
Absolutely.
you, is key. And then secondly, if you want it, you can build it. If
Absolutely.
you build it, they will come. So
I just don't understand how he can sit here and he can say, I want, I want, I want, I want, and I've dated this many people. And my thing
mhm,
is, okay, you've dated all of these people. You've
right.
run from all of these people. Did you
But
not stop to consider that you're the common denominator in every situation that did not work out?
see, it's the thing of he's not dating them, he's sleeping with them. So he's not
Exactly.
actually getting to know anything about himself or anybody. All he know is that he got three to five good pumps in him, and they finna get down and then on to
Being
the
a
next
one hit
one.
wonder.
Yeah. And that's why he has, because they kept saying, well, he kind of a ladies' man and he's doing all this stuff. He
And
ain't
for the life of me, I
formed no
can't see how.
relationships.
I can't see how he's a ladies' man. I definitely cannot. Maybe
That
because
that that's definitely a culture thing. I believe is more so of a culture thing because I don't see it either. And
gotta be.
so that's why I was like, okay, maybe I don't see it because I'm not of the same culture. Um, that you might as well come on over on let me send you a link because but but yeah, I mean, Johnny got a lot of complaining. They go to the thing, and look, you done made me give up my slideshow. Um, they go to the this crab boy. He's talking to his aunt and his uncle. And everybody's telling him, you just met this girl. And now you expecting her to be perfect, whatever your perfect is. But I'm gonna tell you what graphic I need you to see. It wasn't even from the thing. Because I always gotta get past the cow. Past the cow in the middle right there.
Ah, you know what? Johnny is the what was that little stupid boy name that made me so mad? What's his name?
All of them, I don't know, because all of
The dumb boy. Uh, uh
Ryan,
no, not him. The black one, the stupid one,
Chris.
white boy, Chris. Johnny is the Chris of this season.
I think he and Jose tied, but listen, hold on. Let me say this real quick. I wish I had took a screenshot of what I posted the other day in one of the groups. Wrong thing. Okay.
The one that the people got mad at you about.
Girl, yeah, they were mad at me because I said for this week, every week is a different ranking. It's a different ranking every week because I'm like, everybody take the time to everybody gets a different ranking just based off of their behavior for the week. But this week, Johnny was number 1. And then number 2 is Ryan. And I'm talking about I call it from worst to least worst because they are all bad. Okay.
I wanted to.
Because we ain't done yet. We're going to talk about Ryan too.
Because I was like, she just need to kick him in the face.
Baby, change the locks and let him sleep with that damn deer head and be done with it.
Hello. I'm so tired of him. I'm just waiting on butterflies. I'm just waiting on fireworks. Have you figured out that grown people, that really don't happen?
That don't happen for grown people. Do you know how often that happens? When you meet your favorite celebrity, you might get some butterflies like, oh! And then after that, you be like, okay, I'm over it. Because now, real life, you ain't got time for butterflies because that's called indigestion.
My thing is, right about now, I have had I done gave away enough. Mm-hmm. I done laid up with enough. I done dated enough. I done felt a little fun and frillies enough. Give me something that's real.
Yeah.
You gonna help me with these bills?
Right.
Can we travel? Can we cook together? Can we go walk in the park and call it a date? Can we have a conversation about more than the weather?
Listen.
Can we pray together? Can I cover you? You cover me. Can we discuss how we gonna do this thing with these kids?
Can we learn? Can we come together and agree to disagree in a way that doesn't tear each other down? Can we understand that quirks are a part of personalities and that maybe you don't need to change?
Exactly. Can I listen to understand you? So even though I may not necessarily like how you did or said that, I now see where you coming from.
Right.
Don't do it like that next time. Give me a little warning. But I got you.
That's the part of life that people don't understand. When you are married to someone, that honeymoon. Now, here's the thing, and let me get into Heather Brown's sexuality and intimacy. Let me go ahead. So, what he's describing, the thing that he's describing is, and we've talked about this before with
exactly, John.
What's the guy name? Common. We disagree without being dismissive. What Ryan is describing is what is a term called limerence. Okay. And limerence means, or is, I ain't gonna say means, it is that honeymoon period that people have in their relationship. So that's like when I first meet you and I get the little spark and we do all the little stuff and you just so cute. Even when you burp, it's so cute. And when you sleep and you snore, oh, I'm just gonna watch you sleep. And that's one of them things.
What you ate when you farted.
Yeah. Your nose, I went on and I just got me a piece of tissue that I picked his nose. You get into that stage, that's that lovey-dovey. You are fueled off of all of those different endorphins, all those feel-good hormones. You got all the good amounts of oxytocin. You got them serotonins, melatonins flowing through your body. You feel good. You have all of that happening. And it's new. It's a dopamine rush too. So it's a new person. So you're like, oh, new person. We do new things. So limerence lasts for most people between 18 and 36 months. That's why when you see people who have been in relationship somewhere after about 3-4 years, that's when they start hitting those lulls. A lot of times, somewhere between that second and third anniversary, they like, oh, it's not fun no more, because now it's wearing off. That limerence is wearing off, and you're starting to hit where your plateau is. You're at that constant now. So, if it was good before it wore off, it's going to stay good. If it was bad, it's going to start kind of going down a little bit more, because now you don't have those same amounts of hormones and everything to boost it back up. So he's looking for a feeling that all the time isn't going to be there, and sometimes you actually have to create and put the effort in to create. The other thing is, let's just look at Ryan for a minute. What the hell make him think he deserve a 10?
That part.
I'm just so sick of these men. They talking
That
about
part.
this not what I'm used to.
And the thing about it is, you're steadily saying, I'm just trying, I'm here, and I don't want to hurt
Yeah.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what do you think you have done?
The other
This
thing is,
woman has already tried.
what idea of here do you subscribe to? Because if you're sleeping at your own home, if you are even in the apartment and not even trying to sleep in
And
the
you
same
on the
bed,
couch. That man
you're
been
just
sleeping
doing
on
whatever you
the
can. And then the conversation changed. This is the thing that's bothering me about Ryan, is that it was one thing with Zach. He told Zach, I just don't see it. I don't feel it. Da da da. He gets to his sister, and his sister already, we know that his sister had already said, I was a little worried because he's attracted to the Barbie doll types. Not no real curves or anything like that, but like, because let's just be honest, Brett is a nice looking woman. First it was, I don't know about a redhead. He again nitpicky. He's just trying to find anything. Look, Ryan looked like a wet otter to me. I'm just every week I just be like, wow. And he won't even groom, and he's worried. Want to talk about Brett being like messy. I'm like, you're not groomed.
And the thing about it is like my heart really hurts for her,
Mm-hmm.
because being transparent, I've been in that situation where I knew I liked or loved somebody more than they liked and
Mm-hmm.
loved me. And no
Right.
matter how much I tried, no matter how much I did, if
Yeah.
they weren't willing to move that needle, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how wonderful I was being to them,
Mm-hmm.
it just was not going to happen. And
Exactly.
the thing about it is, she's been in that situation so many times that unfortunately she's comfortable with being there, even though it hurts her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her thing is, I've already put my 100% in. I'm just waiting on you to kick in. And
Exactly.
I really feel for people like that too, because like they always say, don't give nobody a second chance to tell you they don't want you. And then the other thing is, don't, and I can't say don't, but we have to be a little bit more cognizant of the way the nonverbal communication people are having with us about us in our relationships.
Mhm.
If you see that the actions and the words are not lining up, you know, then this is where you can disconnect. Ain't nobody gonna hold nothing against her if she decide to walk away today. But the
Nothing.
thing is, again, like I said, these women this season, even Michaela, are committed to the process. They like, look, everything else that I've done has not resulted in me having a husband. So let me try this. And
Mhm.
I'm ready to listen. I'm willing, I'm open, I'm doing all these things. I want to see if there's something that I can learn from this process. And even Mirla, like I said, people were hard on Mirla, and I
I was
was
hard on
too.
Mirla because when she first came, I was like, "Oh, she a whole problem." Like
And now I see
I
what the
didn't care
problem is.
for her. But now I see, the more that I've been looking at her and watching her movements and the decisions that she's
Hmm.
making, it's not that she's not committed. It's not that she doesn't want it. Her thing
Hmm.
is, I am going to put in what I need to put in the way
Yep.
I feel comfortable putting it
Yep.
in. So
Hmm.
that if and when I decide to walk away, I have
Yeah.
not compromised me.
Right. And the thing that I figured out in about week, I think it was about week 2 or 3, when they were trying, everybody was pressing her, go ahead and kiss him. And I'm like, would you tell, let's just think about this. Would you tell somebody, even your kids, would you tell them to run up and hug a stranger or a family member or anybody like that? We're teaching autonomy. Nowadays we're teaching, self-advocacy, body autonomy, things like that. I have limits and I would like to keep my boundaries in place while going through this process. So she said,
Absolutely.
the kiss is coming. I'm just not comfortable yet. She said all the things she said. If you're patient with me, it'll pay off. She said those things. The problem I had
Absolutely.
with him is if I don't get a kiss by the time we get to decision day, it's a divorce, which is an ultimatum.
It is.
I don't want anybody kissing me out of force.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because I was just having a conversation with someone and they asked me, when you're in relationship, do you want to be needed or wanted? I said, ideally, people will
Mm-hmm.
say that they want both. They want to be needed and wanted. However, I lean more to the side of being wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you need me all the time, that means that you're going to drain me. You need too much of my
Yeah.
energy, and I can't be
Mm-hmm.
my best self for myself. So if
Right.
I'm not my best self for me, I can't be my best self for you. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to want me in your life. I
Yeah.
want you to wake up and make the decision every day that she is for me and I'm for her. And
Yeah.
however that day may start and end, we still in it to win it. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
want me.
Right.
And my thing is, if you're telling me if this, then that, then you've already put me in a position that I shouldn't have to be in. That's unfair to me that I got to make a decision to probably compromise myself just to give you
Mm-hmm.
what you want to keep you here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who's doing that?
Right. Right. And that's the thing that I think I have an issue with. I've been reading, I go into some of these groups and everything, and I see how these women are really caping for Gil, and I don't see it.
I
They've been
think they're
taught,
looking at their bald head. I think they're looking at the fact that he is Colombian. I think that
okay.
they find it sexy that he speaks the foreign language. They're looking at the fact that he got a nice body. He's a nice looking man. He's a firefighter. And it's like, where's the problem?
Yeah.
We're so stuck on aesthetics. We're
Uh-huh.
so
Mm-hmm.
stuck on what looks good to the outer world that we're not considering what's your spiritual life like? What's your
Mm-hmm.
mental like? What's your emotional like? What about those finances? Have you planned? Have you done this? Have you done that? And I will speak openly. I've become on more than one occasion a victim of life where my stuff wasn't always where it should be.
Right.
But
Right.
I had the fortitude to get myself back to where I needed to be and put plans in motion. Those are the type of conversations that you got to be having. That's what you need to be basing your future off of. If we fall down, do you have what it takes to get us back up there?
Right. And
Because just
she's
because you
shown him.
can, that's gonna change anyway.
Right. She's shown him. Yeah, I can get back up. I sure can. Absolutely. But if you fall down, you're gonna keep falling. And that's the problem that I have because everybody's saying, well, I think she really likes the way that he kind of digs at her. I think she tolerates it. And I
She
think
said
that
she tolerates
because
it.
first of all, she's an introvert and she's vocal when she feels like she needs to be, but
Mm-hmm.
she likes him and she also knows optics,
Right.
right? Her friends keep calling her bougie. Everybody want to call her bougie. But at
She
what
worked
point
hard
do
for what
you
she got.
realize that you just cheap? There's a difference between being frugal, because see, they say he's frugal. He's cheap. There's a difference. Frugal is I want everything I want, but I'm only willing to pay this much for it. You know,
That's
that's
me.
frugal. You know, cheap
That's me.
is, because he goes, well, you just want the he said something about the phones, and because she said, well,
Oh,
she's
because
had
there's nothing
phones for
wrong with
2 years.
her phone. And she was like, it's
Yeah,
a better camera. And he's
it's a
looking at
better
her like,
camera. Have I purchased a phone for a better camera? You better believe I have. I got a whole office full of better cameras because
Mhm.
I like equipment. I like stuff. I use it. It doesn't matter. If I want it, I want it. And the thing that I
Absolutely.
have an issue with him on is I think that if she continues to stay with him, he's going to dim her light. That's where I have an issue. I think if she continues to stay with him, he's going to eventually get her to a point where her light is going to be so dim that she's going to not be herself. My thing is, again, we can't come together to the middle. Okay, I don't want a new phone, but I know that's your thing. So I want you to have all the things that you want. I don't really care about going out of town, but I know this is something that you really like. So where we going? I'm not seeing that in him. I'm seeing more of his friends still not holding him to the, so you gonna get a second
On the
job or
teaching
what? How you
title.
gonna take care of this woman that's used to having everything? I see this is what's gonna be funny because this is a fictional characters I'm about to bring up. I see the Dwayne and Whitley dynamic, which is everyone had a problem with Whitley being a rich girl, and it seemed like it was Dwayne's whole motive to bring her down the size by keeping her broke, basically,
Mhm.
being
Mhm.
with me. We don't need these fancy things. And I'm like, yeah, I do, I need the
And
fancy
the
thing.
thing about it is, it's like people have made struggle love okay.
Yeah.
People have made and I'm all for growing together. I'm all
Mhm.
for building together. But the fact of the matter is you got to walk in the door with something to build on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because again, in our 40s, our 30s, we ain't looking for potential no more. We
No,
looking to see how you're making it happen.
you should have met your potential by now. And if you haven't, it's okay. But this might not be my cup of tea.
Right. And I get it. Again, I will say sometimes we fall prey and we're a victim of circumstance.
Mhm.
But even in those situations, what is your plan to rebuild?
Right.
How can you get yourself back to where you were, and then how can we surpass that?
Yeah. And I think that, I'm glad that you bring that up because if I don't see that you have resilience as part of your personality, let me see how you bounce back from those things. Because everybody always ain't going to have and be everywhere, unless you like a billionaire or whatever. But most of us do have to have those, we have those peaks and valleys and everything. When you're in the valley, how do you act? What are you
hmm
doing? And
And
is
see,
it very different from when you peak?
that's the thing. Like, if I were to sit and tell half the stuff that I've endured,
Mhm.
it would just be like, when did that happen? Because I
Right.
never let anybody know. I never changed how I moved. I never changed how I did things.
Mhm.
I just set aside for myself and was like, okay, you got this, and that going on. This
Right.
ain't what's up. How are you going to get yourself back to where you were?
Right.
You don't have to change what you do and how you do. You don't have to tell everybody your business, but you
Right.
do have to be able to work those things out with and for yourself. Because if
Right.
you can't do that with and for yourself, how are you going to do that with a partner?
You can't. And that's the thing that I noticed about him. I think what to me was so off-putting was when he started talking about, and he was talking to his friend, and he was like, he was telling her he has a dog, and so he expects that she walks the dog, and she was like, well, what did you do before you met me? And he was like, well, you're able-bodied. That has nothing to do. I told you I don't like
That's your
dogs.
responsibility.
I didn't want a dog. You know why I don't have a dog? Because I don't want one.
Exactly.
And so again, Gil is arrogant. And people love this arrogance about him, but it's so off-putting for me because when I'm looking at long-term relationship, I can only tell you from experience and from what I look at with clients and everything. I couldn't be with someone who, like even in the first scene, she was like, "Could you make me a smoothie?" He said, "You could make a smoothie."
Yeah, I had a lot of problems with that because I'm like,
You're right
you're
there. You're
standing
making
there
one.
and you're literally making a smoothie.
Right.
So
It
after
wasn't
she walks in the room, first of all, why didn't you ask her if she wanted one when you started?
that part.
Let's talk about that.
I
Why
ain't
didn't you ask
never
her?
had
You
to
knew
worry
she was
about
in the
eating.
house. You knew she was in the house. And I'm quite sure that when she goes in the kitchen or if she's doing something, the first thing she's going to do is say, "Hey, I'm finna go do
Mhm.
this. Would you like?"
Right.
Because
It's the
that's just what people
consideration.
do. That's just
Yeah.
what people do. But because you didn't do that and she asked for one, you basically was like, "Hell no." But you think she's supposed to walk your musty ass dog.
Right. The slobbing dog. That dog slobbing everywhere. I'm telling you, I like animals. I grew up with animals, but let me tell you why I don't have a dog. Because there are a
Because
lot of
like having another
responsibility.
kid.
Right. There are a lot of responsibility. And I'd be damned if somebody come telling me about what my able body can do for something that they want. If it's your dog, you take care of it. You make sure that the dog is kenneled when you're away. I don't want a dog. And I thought that was
Exactly.
also very crazy. Like when they first met and he wanted her to touch the dog, and she's like, "I'm kind of scared of dogs." And, no, come on and touch it. Nobody had a problem with that. Now let's go back a few seasons. Let me just say this. A few seasons ago, this guy had like a gang of dogs. I can't remember what season it was, but he had a lot of dogs, and the girl was like, "I am afraid of dogs." And she even got a behavioralist to come in to try to help her work with the dogs. But we don't, and this is what's funny. Again, animals have more rights than women. Um, People were just like, I can't believe she don't like dogs, this and that. I don't like dogs.
And what's the problem?
That's why I ain't got none. It's like, to me, that's so silly. It'd be different if I said I don't like kids and you got kids. A little
Exactly.
different.
Like, where we gonna put them?
Yeah. So they stay in here or
What you
what?
gonna
What
do with
we in an
that?
apartment or. So anyway, I just find it silly that people they are caping so hard for Gil, and I don't see anything about it. I haven't seen the needle move at all for him as far as what he's done. Somebody said he affirms her. I was like, how? How does he affirm her?
Affirms her how? Because he's always princess this and princess that, and he's not
Did
saying
you
this
even
in an
consider
endearing
me?
way. He's very
Right.
condescending.
He's very
He's making
condescending.
it sound like she shouldn't be who she is because he's in her life. Why do I have to change everything about me to accommodate you?
Right.
And
Okay.
it's funny because when the first show first came on, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like her." And now
Hmm.
I really like Mirla.
Yeah. I'm like, I like the fact that, I mean, she bougie. Okay, we got it. We get it. She
Mm-hmm.
particular. There's certain things that she like. I'm the same way. Mirla eat too. She stay eating. You ever notice
Don't
that?
be.
I don't care what the no,
She's a
everybody could be
nibbler.
fighting and she be like, uh-huh.
Yeah, she's a straight nibbler. I said that. I said she's so small, but she be eating, baby.
She be getting down. They be folks be talking. She be like chicken wing.
Cookie.
Yep. I'm
Oh,
gonna
are
go
those
eat that.
strawberries?
I ain't heard her count no calories or nothing, but she sure be eating. And I love
Exactly.
that part too. She is so much of who she is, and she's unapologetic about it. Um,
Exactly.
but she also very much wants to be married, wants to please her husband, and she's willing to make these little adjustments to accommodate for her spouse. Now, like I said, all these men are nitpicky this season. I don't like it. I really just don't like it. Let me before because we're an hour in, girl. I didn't think we're gonna be here for an hour. But let me show you this though. I really wanted to talk about this conversation between the two sisters, Michaela and her. I can't remember her sister's name. I want to call her Tasha or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she had a different
Denise.
name.
Yeah, but
I don't
that's the
remember. We're gonna
sister.
call her Sissy Pooh.
Okay, sis. Look, sis came in, and I think that she was pleasantly pleased because she was talking to Michaela and finding out, they had their little blow up. She and Zach had the blow up, but it looks like they're on the track to kind of move past that now. They really want to
Mhm.
make again the effort to just see if there was just a thing. And I see a lot of folks like, well, y'all telling Rachel to leave, but how come Zach can't leave? I'm like, cause Zach just as crazy as Michaela. That's why. Because Michaela, that blow up that we saw, let's just be honest. The blow up that happened, Michaela was in the house by herself when she was throwing the Clorox bottle and everything. And she didn't lock Zach out. She did call him. It got a little crazy. And she called him a little bit of a lie. And I'm almost compelled to believe that there is some truth in that too. Um, as far as his timing was concerned, as far as him coming back to the apartment. And why did you have to rock your dog to sleep? But again, mm. um, it's a lot that's happening there. I think both of them are immature. I think if when it
Mhm.
boils down to it, they're immature, and the issues that they have aren't so great that it's going to make or break the relationship unless they allow it to.
I agree with that. Um, I see Michaela growing.
Mhm. Mhm.
I will say that I was off put by how she behaved at the salsa lesson. I will say
Mhm.
that I didn't like the way she just completely shut down. However, when she explained why she was the way that she was, I understood it.
Right.
But I feel like in that moment, she probably could have handled it differently.
A little better.
Um, but I do think that she is trying and she is growing. I do think that she does have a love for him, and that is what is pushing her. Um,
Mhm.
Zach, I don't know if he is growing. I don't know if he's really seeing her the way that he says that he is, because
Yeah.
I feel like he's a grudge holder. And I
Mhm.
feel like he's very much a person who is going to continue to say, but you did, but you did, but you did.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
you're not looking at what I'm doing now. So
Right.
I don't know if their relationship is going to work that it the way that it should, or progress as as quickly as it can, because he doesn't know how to let go.
And then also, again, let's talk about the immaturity of it all. His longest relationship was what, 9 months?
Somewhere up in there.
Somewhere around, and none of them have really been in long-term relationships, or really, is if I'm, as far as I'm concerned, been around long enough to be in long-term relationships. With him, I feel like his downfall is constantly trying to compare stuff to his brother's relationship, his mother's, his parents' relationship, all those kind of things that kind of will keep you off track when you're talking about relationships. If you're always comparing, if your bar is over here, you know, um, you're gonna always think that whatever someone else got going on is better than what you got going on, just simply because you're not in it. You don't see the bad with the good. You just see the result of. That's why I hate when people go, oh, such and such been married 35, 40, 50 years. And I'm like, but y'all don't see what happens to stay to at that point. They're not all happy all the time. They don't like each other all the time. Some of
I
them
was about
probably
to
damn near
say,
came to blows yesterday.
love is something that you constantly have to decide to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you constantly have to work at it.
Yep.
I may not like you, but I love you. The
I
thing
choose
is,
to love you.
exactly. And the thing about it is, you can turn like off real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to like you and I want to love you
Yeah.
at the same time. But
Mm-hmm.
in those times where I'm not able to like and love you at the same time, I want to be in a position in my life and in my relationship with you where my good times outweigh my bad times. And I feel like you're worth me working towards liking and loving you.
Right. I think, and I'm glad you said that, because one of the things that, when you talk to older couples and stuff, people that's been married a long time, um, the one thing they always say, when the passion wears off, you better hope you're friends, because passion ain't always gonna be there, but the
Mm-hmm.
friendship should be there. I also don't agree. I'm gonna say this, and people may not agree with me. I also don't believe your spouse has to be your best friend. I think y'all should be friendly. I don't think you have to be best friends. Um, I think for some people, the idea of even saying that is
Cliche.
limiting in a way and smothering. I think you need to be two whole complete people that came together to do a whole complete thing. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of times we put too much pressure on our spouses to be our everything. They can be a lot, but they can't be everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they shouldn't be. You shouldn't require that of them.
Because if
And
anything, God forbid, if anything what happened to them, what
mhm,
then happens to you?
right. The other thing is, how did you function before this person came into your life?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's so unfair to think that this person has to not even check. We're not even talking about checking boxes, but just fill in all these gaps that you have. It's just not fair. And I see a lot of them are wanting to lean into that "you're my everything" and "how was I a person without you." That they want that, and that's just not the reality of relationships again. But that's these newfangled relationships, and I tell you, people who've been in long-term relationships need breaks. They need to be away from each other sometimes. They also need to know that when I leave you, I come back, all your stuff ain't gonna be gone.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I can be honest and say like the person that I'm getting to know now,
Hmm.
he is extremely busy. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And I told him, I said, well, I don't know how I fit into your life. And he said,
Hmm.
it's not about you fitting into my life. It's about me figuring out how to do things differently so that you don't have to feel like you don't fit.
Hmm.
When he said
Absolutely.
that, I was like, okay, you know.
Right. Because, and I mean, he made such a good point, because the whole thing is you never want to feel like you are, um, you know, this is something that is, hey, look, we got some visitors.
He
Hey,
said, this
Jen.
is
Yeah,
God
let me
ain't
tell y'all
petty
real quick.
now. I
God
love
ain't petty,
it.
baby. The shirts, all the petty t-shirts that I get them from
Yes,
Jen. Y'all have got
I
to check out
love
her
it.
site. Drop your link, Jen. And y'all, I love it. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. But yeah, all of my petty shirts, I get them from her. That's my
Ah.
petty pusher right there. I was just thinking about, I gotta place an order for the one that said "Pray for me, I'm petty." But yeah, like the thing I like about what he said though is, if it's important to him, he'll make the time for it. Not you
Absolutely.
having to figure out, can I get on your schedule? Can I, all that stuff? You don't have to do that when you're important enough to that person. And that's why I'm saying those words and those actions lining up. I don't see that in these guys. I don't see their words lining up with their actions. They say they want something, but they're not willing to work for it. And then the
Exactly.
women are like, but I'm committed. That's why I was like looking at Johnny and Bow. She's like, yeah, I'm committed to it. She's always like thinking about things that she can do. He gets upset because she's a perfectionist. Now let her be a perfectionist. That's part of who
Mhm.
she is. It's not bother. I mean, it's not hurting you that she decided she want to mix some colors together to make sure it's perfect. How does that hurt you?
Yeah. I
So
just really feel like his impatience is just it's nothing that he does is reflective of her. He doesn't
mm-hmm,
understand how he's making himself look extremely bad. And
right,
let's just be real. He may not actually even be a bad person.
right. But
He
he
might
pushing her
actually
away.
just be all right because we don't know how much cutting and pasting they doing on this show.
But
But for what we're seeing,
yeah.
he's a butthole.
But you let me tell you this also. It ain't that much editing in the world that can
Yeah,
edit you to look like a bad person if you didn't give them the content to make it editable.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So, you had to have given it in order for them to have
For
it.
them to put it out there.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's like
uh,
I was sitting up here and I was looking at Val the whole time that they were at that dinner. And she was
mhm,
discussing, I do this and I do that and I do this and I
mhm,
do that. He was red in the face. He put
mhm,
his head down. He blowing. His eyes are watering. And I'm looking at him like, if he don't look like he about 2 or 3 years old sitting there,
mhm.
the
And
only
tearing up
thing I
rose
will give
petals.
the only thing I will give him credit for is him saying, I have a lot to say, but I would rather say it to my wife. That was the only thing I gave
That
him
was it.
credit for.
That was it. And
That
at
was it.
that point, you could have just said it to them anyway, because nosy Gil was going to get it from. Gil is nosy too. He always asking a bunch of questions. I'm
Baby.
like, these questions that you have, do you apply them to your own relationship? The answer is no, but go
No,
ahead and answer.
no. I just it's like shows like this are eye opening, but they
Hmm.
make you mad at the same time.
They do.
I didn't call
I
you baby.
think though the thing that's important though, like I like to watch these shows a lot of times because number one, I study these shows because of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And as a coach, I want to be able to have enough tools to know different personality types that I may come into contact with and see, first of all, how do they deal with these situations and what would I say to them in order for them to get past that situation. So I am upset every Wednesday night. I have a copious amount of liquor around me that
Ah,
I'd have to have in order to get through these shows. But seeing it helps me to get an idea of this is a type of person, this is a type of person, this person does that. And but I'm so frustrated this season because I feel like there is very little effort on a lot of the men's part to make any type of changes
I
when it
kind of
comes
feel
to
like we have a full group of varying levels of narcissism.
yes.
That's what I'm saying. We have
Mhm.
various levels of narcissism. And I will say that in my mind, Jose is head narcissist.
Now, I would like if you want to go into a numbering system about who's the narcissist, I can almost flip that for you. Jose is number one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jose. I would say two and three, Ryan and Gil. They are
Mm-hmm.
tied.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
then Johnny and then
Mm-hmm.
Zach. I
Yep.
would say in that order.
I give you the same order.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
give you the same order. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what? The only reason that I give Zach a little bit of consideration
Uh-huh.
is the fact that he's 27.
I would and right. And
That's the only
let's
reason.
get scientific again. Let's talk
He's
about
old enough to
maturity.
know better, but he has not done enough. And his brain just finished developing.
Right. Right.
So that's the only reason I give him a little bit of consideration. However, you have two wonderful parents from what you project.
That's
You
what they
have
say.
older brothers and you're looking at them.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, you know better.
You know better. And that's why I tell people when let's get scientific, because you just brought it up a little bit. Anybody who does any knows anything about pre-adolescent development, there's the prefrontal cortex, which is just a little portion of the front part of your brain right here, right there in that little soft spot. It actually does not continue, or it actually develops well past what we consider adulthood, which is 18, but around 27-ish is what they call when it's fully developed. And that part of the brain is the decision making and everything. So that's why you see a lot of folks, a lot of people be up there on Fool's Hill a lot of times in their 20s. They be doing crazy stuff. They make these decisions that don't make sense. They say stuff that just doesn't make sense. And so those are, that's why we give him a little bit of grace as far as that's concerned. Also, we talked about Michaela being 30. And according to astrology, around between 27 and a half to 29 years is what they call your Saturn return, because that's about how long it takes Saturn to make its orbit. So you should have come full circle into something around that age group as well. So you have had enough life experience to start drawing inferences about certain things, but some people don't get it until a little later. So with those two, that's why I said I want to throw them in the trash. I do. Like, the trash can is open. I got my foot on the little pedal, and I'm just holding them over that trash can right now, because like, don't pull back, because I just want them to. I feel like they could benefit from a good amount of counseling. And then we can move and say, all right, well, y'all ain't,
and that's why I would, in my mind, I feel that the experts need to be more hands-on. Because a lot of these things they can actually catch and coach them through. Before it turns into these massive destructive blow-ups. And I get that they can't handhold, but you put them in the middle of an experiment based on all of these predeterminants that you felt would make them compatible. But you getting stuff off of paper. Once you're seeing these behaviors, and once you're seeing them actually experience life, I'm gonna need you to go grab them by their hand and be like, "Come here, baby, let me talk to you."
Have several seats. I got some waiting for you.
Exactly. So I feel that they should be more hands-on, because I do see how some of them can work out, and with others, I'm just like, throw the whole man away.
Right. Like, did I show this picture? Let me see. Did I show you this picture with Zach and Michaela doing their little scrapbooking and everything? It seemed like once they had an activity, it kind of, lowered the amount of anxiety both of them had. And then when they were doing little things together, talking about who gonna have the better rhymes and this whatever for each other's name, I saw something different in them, which is they need guided, like you said, they need guided activities until they can kind of they need training wheels. For me, I feel like this is more of a training wheel situation. And then after the 8 weeks, take the training wheels off, because they don't know what to do. Most of these people this season have not been in long-term relationships before. They don't know what to do. They've been dating, but they've not actively been in relationships. And those are two different things.
Absolutely.
Let me show you these two. And like I said, I think they rode Lizard crazy to me. I don't care what nobody say.
I feel like Rachel just as crazy as Jose is at this point.
She is.
But
what tripped me out here at this winery, because I'm looking at their faces right there when she was like, summertime, you don't even know Summer Rachel. Summer Rachel finna be all out in here and finna be doing the thing. I was like, you finna have a hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer Rachel, baby. She finna be out here doing something strange from some change, making them holler for $1. Can
Baby,
you
she
deal
said,
with
I'm
it?
out here. And don't you call me. You hear?
Can you deal with it, big pimpin'?
Okay. You ain't ready to hang with the big dogs. And the thing I think that was funny about that conversation, because he is so hell bent on not leaving the state. She like, let's go travel. Oh yeah, let's go to San Antonio. Is that still Texas?
Indeed.
Why we can't leave the state? You got warrants?
That's what why you take it out my mouth? I'm like, did you go somewhere and they had to run your ass back out the country? Like, what you
What
do?
is happening? Because I'm like, he is hell bent on not really leaving the state. Not
Yep.
even saying, because he kept, first he was like, oh, we can go to Vegas. Okay, well, yeah, we can just go right to Dallas.
And she looked at him like,
No.
I
There's a
was
lot
like,
happening
oh,
there.
what's gonna happen? Rachel and Mirla are gonna become traveling buddies because that's what they both love to do.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
they're adventurous.
Yeah.
And
And I
I think
think that
that's
Mirla
great.
will step up Rachel's travel game, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
Jose and that's
Suspicious.
hella
See? It's
suspicious.
very
Yeah,
suspicious.
it is.
So you think he a
Especially
dreamer?
because you're this big money finance guy.
But he like 35. Is he, our dreamers 35?
Girl, look, I'm sitting here
I
eating
gotta.
cashew clusters. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's all right, because this is one of them days. If I had snacks, I'd be snacking too. But something ain't right about this whole situation. But anyway, she was like, "Don't worry about it, because Summer and Rachel gonna be gone over the summer. You talked about I ain't gonna be sitting at home." She tried to explain on Unfiltered what
Yes, it
happened.
was the delivery.
Well, she also said she had worked herself up into anger. She was like, "I was just
Mhm.
thinking." So she was like, it was too much. I had made myself mad thinking about this.
Right.
Uh, so I thought that was funny that she had really just got worked up about just the thought of not traveling because of how he is kind of not into traveling. Um, I think for the most part, these two are crazy enough that they'll work it out. Um,
I think that
but
they're
those two right
only
there.
gonna work because Rachel, even though she's putting on this tough girl act,
Hmm.
Rachel's not as strong as she's pretending to be.
No, because Rachel, the last relationship she was in, the only
Told her
reason why
to
they
her
stayed
life
together as long as they were in quarantine.
in quarantine. Hmm.
And so she said she lost a lot of her self esteem and started working out. So I think a lot of that has to do with, how it's going to be for them. I don't know. Um, I do think though, like she said, I got to do a lot of changing for you. I got to move out of my apartment, move into your house. I got to do, change my commute time from 20 minutes to an hour. A
Hmm.
lot of change is happening. I think it started really hitting her, like, and then on top of it, you don't like to travel? Where they do that at? So yeah, she was upset, honey. She was upset, angry, mad, disappointed, all this stuff, distraught. She was all over that feelings wheel. And so so I don't know. I think for this week, I'm gonna say that I think the only couple that would probably make it right now would be Rachel and Jose, because they like each other's brand of crazy. I hope
Mhm.
that Brett will walk away from Ryan before he does any more to um affect her self-esteem, because that whole conversation there wasn't even worth talking about. I just wanted to put the pictures up, because if you don't want to be with me, just say it.
And she said that.
Yeah, and that's, she's at that point where she like, all right, whatever. Um, I really want Michaela and Zach to work, but I don't know that it can.
I'm holding out hope for them. I haven't totally dismissed it,
Mm-hmm.
but they both got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm seeing that Bao is gonna have a breaking point and she's not gonna want to be with Johnny.
I hope she has a breaking point and not want to be with Johnny.
Well, okay. And Mira and Gil, I think Mira gonna get tired of Gil, those jabs that he keeps taking. I don't know if they're gonna stay. Do you think they're gonna stay together though?
I think they will stay together, but I don't think that it will be for very long.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I think that on decision day, they're gonna stay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you're gonna have to put that in the washing machine downstairs. I think that they will stay. I love you too, baby. I'm sorry, y'all. That's my baby. I gotta tell her I love her because she precious. But but I think that they will stay together for decision day.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that by the reunion, she gonna be like, I don't know this man.
Right. How about who this man?
I don't know that man. I think
I I think you're right though. I think a lot of I think that you may have I think you may get 3 yeses on decision day. I think that we're gonna have by the time they do the reunion, you'll be down to like 1.
hmm and that one is questionable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah. How'd you feel about this episode as a whole? What would you give it out of 10? No, out of 5. What would we do out of 5 or out of 10?
We do it at 5, and this is what
Okay.
I give it.
Noted.
that's
Yeah.
that's what I got.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it though. Like this has been an episode for me. Like I think I stopped it and I started back the next morning. Um I just want to see Johnny do better. I want all the men to step their game up. I want Ryan to get a damn haircut and get his beard trimmed. I want Jose to cut that
You look like
thing
a
away
little
from
scruffy
around his
dog.
lip because it look weird. I want Gil to shut up and stop asking everybody questions. I even saw somebody talking about they think he should be the next host. No, he should not.
The host of what?
Like any of these shows.
Girl, bye.
Anyway, anybody got time for that? But anyway, I just want to I just want all them to stop getting on my nerve. Okay, and so this is what I'm gonna do. So we're done with this review. Um, I'm gonna try to come back tomorrow tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow, because we need a review. Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I just got a lot I need to say about that. So I do need to come. I may have even come back tonight before the new episode and talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville and about Tiffany, Marcel, Melody, and Martell, because I think they still sleeping together and you can't tell me no different. But
Definitely.
because when she was like, why you come to my room at 1 a.m.? Why you had to say that on camera?
Like we would have known what time it was.
Right.
Oh,
Why
I
you
hurt
open your
myself.
door?
Hold on, I hurt myself. I got to
Don't,
stretch. Hold on.
don't die. Not
Ow.
on live TV.
Ow. I don't know what I did. I
Did you
turned the
pull a
wrong.
muscle? You know you over 40. You pull you all you
Girl,
gotta do is
I
look
turned the
wrong.
wrong way sitting on the couch. That's why you saw me coming through the house. And now trying to sit back down and my body like, no, bro, we still hurt.
Y'all, well, if y'all haven't met 40 before, y'all, I'd like to introduce y'all to this is what 40 does. Y'all forget your
Oh,
little 30s. Forget your 30s.
baby.
40
I
is
don't know what
sleeping wrong
I
or thinking about laying in a direction and all of a sudden something just pulled.
Wow.
Understand. We ain't do
Ooh.
nothing to that body part. It just happens that way. Let me tell you about I had to get a new chair because my butt started hurting and I didn't even know that I had a bone in that particular area. So, yeah.
I
Yeah.
so just pulled something in my side and it's in my stomach.
See?
All I did was bend down to get my water bottle.
See? I'm telling you, it was a muscle you didn't even know you had that you all of a sudden used and didn't even know you engaged it. That's
First of
what
all,
life
I'm
is.
fat. I ain't think
You
I
say you
had
turned
stomach
40 in May?
muscle.
Well, we need to have a turning 40 episode. 40
Lord,
means
y'all should see
anyway.
me walking around holding my side and my stomach. I don't even know which one to hold.
Y'all see it here first. Y'all see it, folks. This is what we do. We be in pain and don't even know what happened. But okay, y'all, we got to come back and do Love and Marriage Huntsville. It does. Today is what day is this? Anyway, it comes on tonight. And is this the last episode of them being in
Vegas.
Vegas? Because they did 4 episodes in Vegas. I don't know why,
They
but we
could have
definitely
did
want to
one
talk
and been
about.
done with it.
So tell me what I need to know for 40. You just gonna wake up and be like, what hurting today? And always keep you some type of pain medication on the side because you're gonna need an Advil or Tylenol, something for something, and drink a lot of water every day. That's all I'm telling you.
You
we're
gonna
gonna
swell.
do,
You gonna
we're
swell
gonna
up
do
for
the
no reason,
40-year-old episode one day. The for 40 and over. What
baby. She
to
gonna swell up for
expect?
some reason. Look at my face. My face ain't even this fat. I'm just swole. For what? I don't know.
Cause
Ugh.
that
Y'all
was
don't
like
see
for
it
my remember
worse.
my birthday, my lips swole all the way up like that, and I still don't know why. No clue.
Will was like, Heather, what you eat?
Regular same stuff. My body was just like, nah, I think I'm gonna swell up. No pictures for you this
Man,
week.
if you
So
got
yeah,
kids, they gonna become your concierge because you just gonna need them to do everything because it's just not
everything. And
gonna
if you
work
don't
out for
have
you.
kids, this would be a good time to rent them. So you know,
Hello.
I'm just
In the
saying.
Chicagoland area, you can rent mine.
Yeah, I got a 4-year-old. Everybody keeps giving back, so there you go. Uh,
Look at my crystal. I got my crystal on today.
oh, nice. I
And
found my bowl of crystals.
did you?
I did. Apparently, I kept them away from myself. I packed them up so I didn't lose them, and then I lost them. But I found my crystals.
Yay! I had on my bracelets, but they in there because I'm swole and they started making indentations in my
Yeah, yeah. Because my ankle started popping a few weeks ago.
She said she'll rent her LS's children.
You should just tell
That's
them.
what
Let me
they
borrow. Let me
for.
borrow a few of them for a minute. Pick that up for me, baby. Pick that up for Auntie. Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. So we may actually let's see. It is 4:07, and Love and Marriage Huntsville comes on at what 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say quote me on this, but I may actually come back about 30 minutes to an hour before the new episode comes on because we do need to talk about last week and what to look forward for this week. We definitely want to talk a little bit about depression in men, which I think that Marceau is kind of using it, but I also think that depression does happen in men and they're not able to recognize it. Also, we need to talk about when is it time to walk away? Because that's a conversation we need to have. When is it time to walk away? Even in long-term relationships, again, if it's not working for you, I don't believe I believe let me say this. I believe divorce is a very necessary tool. I'm
And
not a person
y'all,
that
this
does
is
not
coming from
believe.
a married woman, so don't be looking at her crazy because she's
Yeah,
married.
I don't. I'm never one of those people that say that divorce. I've never said divorce is off the table. I believe that if it doesn't work anymore, then something has to change. And sometimes the marital status needs to change in order for things to work. Sometimes you're better off co-parents and friends than lovers. And that's just the truth of it. And sometimes you got to know when to throw the towel in. And I feel like we're seeing this relationship at the point where the towel is about to be thrown, but they don't want to do it for several reasons. One of them is for the kids, and the other thing is for the embarrassment for television. And I think that if they were not on TV, then they would be at a done deal by now. But
I will tell you what my personal feeling is.
what's that?
I don't think they actually live separately.
I do too.
I don't think that she actually really even left. I think that this is a storyline. I think that this is something that they had to manufacture to remain
relevant.
But I think that I don't think that they're not together. At the very
I think where he effed up was he got the baby with the other girl.
Exactly.
But I believe that there is a lot that's not being said. I believe that there's some type of, like you said, there's a working relationship. They have property. And they're gonna let people say what they're gonna say, and they're gonna talk crazy and everything because they are very much aware of social media, and they are very calculated when they make these live posts.
And think about last episode. I mean, it could be a Mel and Martell reunion. You know, you never know. And she like so dramatic, but by the same token, y'all arguing 1 minute, and the next minute is, well, you never know. Why you in that room? Exactly. So I just really feel like this is a storyline for the show. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I think there's some production portion of it because she's both of them are EPs, right? Or is it just her?
Just her.
So there's a component, there's a production component to everything she does, which is why I have a problem with this, because a lot of things that she does and say, like even with this Tiffany thing, like we all know we sick of Tiffany. Bye. And somebody, please, I'm gonna say this until it happens. Can somebody, the Men's Warehouse or something, go get Lewis together? With that shirt, girl, because the shirt that he got, what they call it, the confessional shirt, whatever. I'm like, I still see the fold lines in this shirt, sir. Y'all ain't even knocked the wrinkles out.
With her ramen noodle hair.
Girl, because I'm like, I feel like she got a bunch of gel in her hair, and it's just in there. And because the thing was, Errol was like, I just think you don't like her. I said, but see, understand, I got the same texture of hair when it ain't blue and doing this. It is close to the same, very much the same texture. And if I put a lot of product in my hair, it would lay down like that. But I like my hair big. So I like to let it air dry a little bit and add a little sheen to it later. But if you put a whole lot of gel in my hair, you're going to get them same little ramen noodles curls and things. And you know, it's all right, but you know.
She wanted to show you the engine in her family.
I guess, folks be holding on to that too. I see that curl right there. That's because my great grandmama was Choctaw.
That's what my son said about me. I tell everybody I got 4C hair, but look at that,
like right there, right there.
I got to see the wires, baby. I can give you some of this butter.
I can make you seasick, honey. I'm like, y'all got to get over, because then when she started talking about Destiny and pretty much call her hood, that was another thing. And you know,
anyway. What I told y'all though, like, I don't want anybody fighting physically because
We too grown for that.
On paper, we are.
We've
Yes.
come far, but we ain't come that far.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I will openly admit that if there was to be a dragging that takes place, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I'd be front and center, like, "Ooh, wow!" But she
I,
asked for it. Then.
I wouldn't be mad at it because everybody has a breaking point. And
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
picked and picked and picked and picked. And she
Mm-hmm.
has told you on several
Yep.
occasions, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna need you to go that way. Because
Right.
if you don't, it's not gonna end well. But
Right.
you keep going for her. So if
Mm-hmm.
she drag you, I'm sorry, sis, but I'm rooting for that dragon because you caused that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think well, she does see it, but I don't like this throwing rocks and hiding hands. I can't I'm just a transparent person. Okay, well let me show you what transparency
Okay,
does
so
without tact.
at no point do you think about the timing. At no point do you think about the environment. At no
No.
point do you consider the fact that you really are not friends with these people, so you don't need to be spreading their business and talk about what you heard.
But this is the same person that had a surprise wedding for their husband. So, whatever. Um, anyway, look, we gotta save this one for the review. We're gonna get together offline and figure out when we're gonna do this review. And so we can close this out because now we're album 43 in
Oh,
because we
bye,
just started
y'all.
talking. So thank y'all for joining us again. Thank you guys if you came over from Instagram over to YouTube to listen to this review. We're gonna come back later with another review crew thing. So we're doing Married at First Sight. We're doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. Actually, next week starts
Ready to
Ready
love.
to Love. So we'll get into that because that's a dating show, and I think that's very weird. Some of the stuff that they do because it's DC this season. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna close it out because we ain't talked in a minute. So but thank you all for spending y'all afternoon with us, and y'all have a good rest of your evening. Say bye, Tamika.
Bye, Tamika.